brothers and sisters, we want to welcome you to today, the demonstration that is needed at this moment. With all this media campaign by the corporate media, by the politicians in this country, who always seem to have money for war, always seem to have money for invasions, to send missiles across the globe. But yet, we see here, and just in this corner, we see the need for the money to stay here. War in Libya, we say no.
NATO interventions, gotta go.
War in Libya, we say no.
NATO interventions, gotta go.
Money.
As an Egyptian, I stand against the NATO-led bombing campaign on Libya, which has left more than 6,000 civilians killed and more than 4,000 Libyans injured. I refuse the notion that humanitarian intervention is a way to rescue people, but rather a method to interfere and intervene in Libya.
The reality is that the US and France and England have never intervened anywhere for democracy or for protecting civilians. If they were so concerned about protecting civilians, why are they killing so many civilians in Afghanistan, in Iraq? Why are they supporting Israel that kills Palestinians every single day? It's all the same lie, it's all the same purpose, and we have to be very careful. It's our responsibility here in the US to fight US intervention, whether it's in Libya or Iraq or Afghanistan. It's all for the same purpose. And it's not our job here to decide who the Libyan people should have as their leader. It's not our job here to decide which side of the civil war we want to fight on. It's not our place. That's for the Libyan people to decide. The Libyan people will decide through their struggle, through their actions, who their government will be. It's our job here to stop US intervention. It's our job here to stop the killing of the thousands of people who've been killed already as a result of the NATO bombing.
Brothers and sisters, I say if people oppose the American wars on Iraq and Afghanistan, you've got to apply the same standards and oppose the war in Libya. We here can politically disagree and debate over the nature of Libya's government or solutions for the peoples of the Middle East, or how this world could be remade into a place fit for human beings to live in together. But when it comes to standing up to the crimes of our government, we have to stand shoulder to shoulder. I thank the Answer Coalition for inviting us all to unite today to stand up to say stop the bombing of Libya. We have to stand shoulder to shoulder, break the silence, wake more people up together.
But my message here today is, as an African, we are really tired of the stigma and the stereotype that's going on in Africa. I wanted to let everybody know that there is a movement coming up for young African to unite as a continent, because unity is good for everyone. If it is good for the United States of America, it is good for everywhere in the world.
I'm fed up with the politicians and the government telling us that there's no money for education. I have 32 students this school year, 32 students. 5 of my students should have been in special ed, should have had special classes, should have had extra support. But no, there was no money, supposedly. So I had to have in my class. I had 6 newcomers, 6 students who had just come in from another country, who didn't know the language, who needed extra support. Yet I was told there was no support and I had to give it to them. The politicians keep lying and telling us there's no money. But how can we pay $10 million a day on Libya, on bombing and killing people? How does that help us? Not only are we killing these people, but our kids aren't getting an education. A lot of my kids do not have health care. I am here today to stand up and say enough is enough. We need to unite. We need to come together. Only together will we overcome. Only together will we stop all these illegal wars and put the money in the right place, into jobs and education and to health care.
If you look back in history, the U.S. has never funded or supported a real popular uprising, a mass movement of the people for the benefit of the people. Why? Because the imperialist powers, including Obama, don't care about people, only profits and power. Just look at the growing number of homeless families in the U.S. or the number of students who have had to drop out of their universities because they can't afford to pay fees. And that is happening in the richest country, the United States of America. Where is the U.S. intervention here? Where is the humanitarian intervention here? Brothers and sisters, we are the only people who can stop these crimes, and just like the people of Egypt and Tunisia, we can rise up and smash imperial